بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. So yesterday we started Lafeef. We did Lafeef Mafruq. We did Lafeef Maqroon. And today we're gonna finish off, inshallah, Lafeef. So we're gonna do Lafeef where you have both letters as ya. And just to recap what we had said, we said Lafeef, there are two kinds of Lafeef. So there's Lafeef Mafruq, and we mentioned, separated. So where the Fa and the Lam letter are weak, which means the middle letter, the Ain letter, is acting as a separator. So the weak letters are separated. So that's Mafruq. And then you have Lafeef Maqroon, which means they're joined together or they're close together. So those are the two kinds of Lafeef. And again, of course, remember we said the weak letters are waw or ya. Every other letter is not a weak letter. Hamza is not a weak letter. And we did quite a bit of Sarf Saghir of the stuff. It was really good. I did see that in the book, in the textbook, dream textbook, they did say wala yali. So they didn't do yawla. They did yadi, which was interesting. So I will still have to confirm this one, because I don't know which family that would be. All right. So let's get into it. Who wants to participate? But before we participate or we start, I just want to remind you guys that when Lafeef comes with both yas, what happens is in the Madi, you can treat it either as muda'af or you can treat it as naqis. Okay, in the Madi, because there's a doubling effect that is happening. You can see that it's behaving like muda'af because now you have two yas coming together. So sometimes you can put the yas together, especially in family one, because if of course in family two, muda'af doesn't really, it doesn't make it irregular. It's normal pretty much. So this one is going to be normal, but of course it's going to be naqis. Normal but naqis. It's going to be interesting. Yeah. And then you have, the others. I think the others are okay. All right, who wants to participate? Okay, Fauzia. Marianne. Great. We can start with you too. If anybody else wants to participate, we can go on. I just want to clarify something, that in this family, we're not going to have majhul, but the rest is, I think it's going to be there. Okay. So Fauzia, we can start with you. So remember, this is just going to be pretty much normal. Just think allama family. Okay. All right.
So it's hayya.
Hayyaya.
Hayyaya.
Yeah,
We're
like
going to say
allama.
hayyaya.
Yes.
Allama. Hayyaya. Yu'allimu. Yuhayyi. Hayyu.
يحيي.
Yuhayyu. No.
Yes.
Is it going to be hayyu?
Yes. يعلمه is
Oh.
correct.
It
Yeah.
will be the same. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Hayyaya. Yuhayyiyu. Yu'allimu ta'liman. So, tahjiyan.
Mm-hmm.
Mu'allimun. Mu. Muhayyiyun.
Yes. Actually,
This is
wait.
a multiple.
So yeah, that is if you're treating it as muda'af. Actually, that's gonna be, yeah. But I think you can also say hayya, like naqis. So yeah, we can do that, and then we can do the naqis one.
Yeah, that would be nice because I
Yeah.
can't tell the difference.
Yes. Okay.
So we did the malum.
Mm-hmm.
So هو هي يا هو يا
حجيجة.
هي هي هي
يعلى. يعلم.
يحيى يحيى تشبيه right
Yeah.
school would be
So the مفعول معلم.
حيى
Yes. علم.
علم حي
Yes.
no
حيي.
حي حي حي
حي. Yes. Gonna have a سكون. So حيي.
حي لا تهيي
Mhm.
مهيّ مهيّ
محجاج.
ياي
Yes.
مهيّ
معلم. So that would be one way of doing it, but you realize that that sounded weird, right? It didn't sound right. So you'd find that most likely they would use it, they would say it as naqis. So they would say as hayya, for example. Even though this is an option, because I'm telling you, like if you have this kind of, yas together, the option you can either do muda'af or you can do naqis. So you find that they actually do hayya, which is naqis now. Because you can see this is naqis.
يحيي
Yes.
and then the masdar and the file will be the same. No.
The masdar would be
يحيي
no. So hayya, let me write this. Yuhayya. Sorry, hayya yuhayyi. Yuhayyi. Now here, so remember ta'aliman, that's the master, right? But when you come to naqis in this family, we have a ta marbuta.
تحية
Yes, instead, but we're going to smooth it out and make it tahiyyatan. So because the two years are coming together, so it's just going to be tahiyyatan.
تحية
Yes, and you've had tahiyyatan before. Like it sounds familiar, doesn't it? Like greeting.
Yes.
Tahiyyatan. So now you know where it's coming from. Tahiyyatan. So the 2 years are going to merge in the masdar. Tahiyyatan.
Change the markets.
Sorry?
The file change because it's not, if we try treating it as naqis, with the file change. Would it still stay
muhayyin now.
Muhayyin.
Yes, because it's naqis.
It does change then.
Yes, it does change. So you can actually see the difference. The other one was iyun, yiyun, yayun. It was weird. Yeah. But this one is more common. This is actually the one that they use. So they would treat it as naqis. So tahiyatan fahuwa muhayyin. No, I put muhayyin. Yeah. So like that.
School would be huya.
Huyiyya. Now this one is the ya is gonna come back. Yes, huyiyya.
Yuhayya.
Yeah. Yes.
مهين.
Yes, محين.
أرجل. We have three Amars in Naqis.
No, in مضاعف you'll have 3.
Oh, yes. Or
Yeah.
Habbaba, you have to. Okay.
Yeah, like that.
So Amar for Naqis would be Hayyi. Hayyi.
Yeah, if it was, yeah.
So it would be the same then. Hayyi.
Yes. Yes, it would be the same. حيي.
And then Nahi would be also the same. La to Hayyi. And the
Yes.
Zarf minhu would be Muhayyan.
Yes, pretty much. Yeah. So that's basically, yeah, that. I don't know if there are any questions there, so if not, we can go to Marianne. You can do Aslama. So
Aslama, okay.
yes, yeah.
So I will do it Naqis directly, or I have to do Mudaha before Naqis. I Mhm.
We can try both. We can try both just to see what happens, the different changes that happen.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to write the Muda'af one. I'm going
Okay.
to write
So
the Naqis one.
okay. So Mudaha,
Mm-hmm.
Mudaha, Ahyaya.
So it's going to be
No,
like
no.
Ahabba.
Yes, Ahya. No, Aslama, Ahyaya.
Yeah, but then when you have that
Ahayya.
doubling, yes, Ahayya.
Ahayya, okay. Ahayya, Yuhiyyu.
Yes,
Ihyayan,
yes,
فهو محلم محي.
yes.
The مجهول
Yeah.
أسلم أحيي.
Yes, Uhiyya.
يحيي. إحيايا فهو محي.
Yes.
الأمر منه. So for the Amr there is three versions.
Yes.
Yeah. أسلم أحيي. No.
Ahiyyi.
Yes, أحيي. أحيي.
Yes.
أحيا. And أحيي.
Yes, and Ahiyyi.
لا تحيي لا تحية لا تحيي.
Yes.
وظرف منه محي.
Yes. Muhayyan.
For the nahis.
Muhabbun. Sorry, no, you're right.
محيّن,
No,
yes.
you're right. No, you're right. You're right. Muhayyun. Muhabbun. You're right.
محيّن, okay.
Yeah.
محيّن, okay.
Yeah, now let's try
So for
Naqis.
the nahis. Okay. ناقص أسلم أحيا. أحيا يحيي.
Yes. يحيي.
إحيايا فهو
Yes, you're right. The
إحيايا
masdar is the same.
فهو okay. فهو محيٍ.
It can be muhayyin.
محيٍ. It can be. So as أهدى حاد خاين. No.
What is that? It's gonna be in the pattern, I think, مفعن.
مفعن. So محين.
Yes.
Oh yes, محين.
محين.
Yes, محينة.
Yeah.
محين. محين. Okay. The مجهول.
This is where the ya comes back.
Yes. أحيي.
Yes. أحيي.
أحيي. يحيى.
Yes. Uh-huh.
آه، آه، إسلاما. إحيايا.
Mm-hmm.
فهو محيا.
محين.
محيا.
Yes.
محيا.
Because
محيا.
محين would be
Okay.
this family. محين would be family 2. So محين, and here is going to be محين. It
Okay.
has a shadda
محيا.
here. Yes.
Okay. محيا. الأمر منه أسلم أحيي.
Yes.
والنهي عنه لا تحيي.
Mm-hmm.
وظرف منه محيا.
Yes. Beautiful.
Mm.
Okay. Fauzia, back to you again.
Doing the mudaf first. So
Yes, we can. Yeah, you can do that.
hayya.
Yes. Istahayya. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yastahiyyu.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yastaghfiru. Yastahiyyu. Istighfaran. So it will be istihyayan.
Yes.
فهو مستغفر. So مستحيي.
Mustahiyun. So you're just gonna merge that.
Oh, so the tag will not come here. Then we won't get a sukoon in there somewhere.
No.
Mustaghfirun. So mustahiyun.
Yes, it was going to be mustahiyun, but then yiyun is not really liked. So we're gonna merge the yas and put a shadda. So mustahiyun.
Mustahiyun.
Mm-hmm.
Ustuhirhiya.
Mm-hmm.
Yustahayyu.
Mm-hmm.
Istihyayan.
Actually, what we're gonna do with sound, okay, no, it's fine because it's mudaf you're doing. So yeah, you can do istihyayan. But when we come to nakis, you'll see that that changes a little bit. But it's fine. Go on.
فهو مستحي.
Mm-hmm.
الأمر منه استحي. No, استحي.
Uh-huh.
استغفر. استحي. لا No, we have 3 here in
Yes.
mudaf.
Yes.
استحي. استحيي.
Uh-huh.
استحيي.
Yi. Yes. Istahyi. Good.
استحيي.
Mm-hmm.
لا تستحي.
Mm-hmm.
Same 3. لا
Yeah.
تستحي. لا تستحيي. لا تستحيي.
Mm-hmm.
مستحي.
Yes. Mustahayyun.
مستحي.
Yeah. Okay. Now we can do naqis.
ناقص.
Yeah.
So استحيا.
Mm-hmm.
استحيا. استحيا.
Yes. Istahya.
استغفر. استحيا. يستحيي.
Mm-hmm.
استحياء.
Yes, beautiful.
فهو مستحيٍ.
فهو مستحي.
مستحيٍ.
Yes.
We won't get a shadda here, right?
No, there's no shadda.
مستحيٍ. There's no shadda. مستحيٍ then.
Yes.
مستحيٍ. مستحيٍ.
Yeah.
استحيي.
Yes.
يستحيا.
Yes.
استحياء. فهو مستحيٍ.
Yes.
الأمر منه استحيي. لا تستحيي. مستحيٍ.
Beautiful. Amazing. So the only thing I wanted to point out, I don't know what we said here, but of course the masdar in naqis is going to end with an, as opposed to the muda'af, which you separate the letters. For example, ihbaban. So ahabba yuhibbu ihbaban. So in naqis we would say ihyayan. But sorry, in muda'af we would say ihyayan. But in naqis we will say ihya'an. And to be honest with you, I prefer naqis to muda'af because I think it's more preferred also because you've had this word, you've had ihya'an, you've had tahiyatan. These are masdars that are istihya'an. You've had tamshi ala istihya. It's there in the Quran. So there's the naqis version of it is more common than the muda'af, from what I could find. Yeah. And it could be that maybe they do just the muda'af in the madi only, and in the rest they just do naqis. I think that's what they do, so just be careful there as well. But I'm just having you do as for practice purposes so that we can all understand how the differences between naqis and muda'af. Okay, Marianne, you can do the last one. So this is Sami'a family.
It is Samira.
Yes.
Samira yasma'u. Mudara. Hayya. Hayya yahiyu. Yahiyu.
So yahayyu, because the sami'a yasma'u, it has a fatha.
Oh, okay. Hayya yahiyu. Yes.
We can skip the masdar because I
masdar.
Yeah. Hayatan, you can say.
Okay. Okay, hayatan. فهو حي. فهو حي.
Yes, yes.
So huya. Huya. Yuhayyu. No.
Sorry.
Yes, yuhayyu.
You're doing the majhul?
The majhul, yes.
The majhul doesn't exist for this verb because it's lazim. So that's why I put start XX here. So you're going to skip that. Yeah.
Okay. Al-amru minhu. Ahiyyi, ahiyya, ahyi. No.
Yes. So it's small families.
Ihiyyi, ihiyya.
So you can just read it without.
Ihiyyi.
Okay, let's go back to the mudara. Let's go. What is the mudara?
Hayya. Hayya yahayyu.
Yes. Hayya yahayyu.
Hayya yahayyu.
So if you take this out, and we make.
Okay. Hayyi, hayya. Ihyi.
Yes. Or hayyi. Just hayyi, I think.
Okay. Hayyi.
Yeah.
Okay. La tahiyyi. وظرف منه
Mm-hmm.
محية محيي
Mm-hmm. محية.
محية.
Yes. Again, of course, we are saying these words for the purpose of practices. These words might not exist in the Arabic language. Just doing this for understanding and
Okay.
practicing. Yes. So now let's do the Naqis version of it, which is more accurate.
Okay. Okay. ناقص
Mm-hmm.
حي حياة
Yes. حياة.
حياة يح يح حياة يحيى.
Yes. So now you're familiar with
Oh,
Yahya. Oh, see?
yes.
Okay.
Yes. يحيى. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
حاين.
Yes.
اسم فاعل. حاين.
Um, yes, it's supposed to be like hadin. So hayin, I think.
حاين.
Yes.
Okay. الأمر منه. So حياة يحيى يحيى إحيا. الأمر إحيا.
It's gonna be, yes, it's gonna be ihya.
لا تحيا.
Mm-hmm.
وظرف منه
ihya, not like that. Yeah.
محيا.
Mm-hmm. Yes, mahyan is the ظرف. Beautiful.
Okay.
Okay. And if you're gonna do اسم تفضيل is gonna be ahya. If you're gonna do
أحيا.
اسم, what else? What else is there? Ala is gonna be mihyatun. Of course, I
Yeah.
don't know if that word exists, but yeah. So that's basically Lafeef Maqroon. I would prefer if you encounter a Lafeef Maqroon with both, yeah, just do it naqis. It's gonna save you a lot of issues. Because sometimes they do naqis in some places, and some places they do mudaf. So I find it easier to just do naqis throughout. Because when you do naqis throughout, you're sure to get it right. But unless you know that in the Madi, for example, in the Madi here, you would find that they like to use hayya, which is muda'af. And then you go to other place to the other siras, and they're using naqis. So it gets a bit confusing. So I just prefer, to make things easier, just to do it naqis. That would be the safer choice to do. But if you know that in the Madi they use muda'af, and then in the mudari' they go to naqis, and then the other siras they do naqis, then you can do it that way. But to stay safe, just stick with naqis. I think that is important information to mention.
I
Yeah.
have a question.
Yes.
In the Samia family, when we were
Mhm.
doing this, Samia is Samia Yasma'u. So
Yes.
how is can we walk through how the Madi became Hayaya?
No, it's like hada.
Oh,
It's
it's
not.
Haya. It's not Hayaya. Okay.
No, yeah, it's haya. Yes.
Haya. Okay. Got it.
Yeah, if it's naqis, yes. Like more specifically, wait, no, it's supposed to be hayya. You're right, because it's sami'a. It's like shaqiya. I messed that up. I was thinking daraba yadribu, because daraba would be hada yahdi, but sami'a is gonna be shaqiya, radiya, hayya.
Yes.
Yeah, we made a mistake there. So hayya.
أي.
Yes. So because of this complication, hayya, that's where they just switch to muda'af, and they're like hayya. Yeah. So that's kind of like, I think, what happened there. Yeah. So either you do hayya or you do hayya. That. And that's basically Lafeef, the end of Lafeef. Of course, you can check the summary we have in the book. They give like the full table. You can go through it. Although I checked in the book and I think they use for hayya, the one we just did right now, it's either hayya or hayya. I think the isim fa'il, they said hayyun, which is the muda'af one, not hayyun, which is the naqis one. But I think you see now where the intricacies come in. Like sometimes they're using naqis, sometimes they're using muda'af. So you just have to know, is this muda'af or is it naqis? It's important to do that. So you can check that out in the book. And if you have any questions, you can post in the group, inshallah.
They don't do a mix and match, do they? If you
They
have
do.
a, oh no.
I know. Yeah, because that's what I saw in the book. Yeah, because I saw in the book like they have like this one hayya, so they have both hayya and hayya, and then they have hayya, and then they have hayya, which is both hayyu and hayyu. Sorry, hayyu and hayyu. So
So whatever is easier at the moment, they use that particular one, regardless of whether it's mudaf or naqis.
yes,
Whatever is
I would
smoother.
advise go naqis. If you have to bet on anything, go naqis. I'm sure you
Okay.
land on a safer spot. Because mudaf is gonna mix you up. Mudaf might mess you. And even when I just check in my sarf, they are using naqis mostly. So as opposed to mudaf. And I think I find naqis easier when it comes to this particular word than mudaf. Because when you do mudaf, you remember when you're doing mudaf and you were saying a lot of EU and EU and it just didn't sound right. It sounded off. So yeah. Okay. So what we're gonna do, I'm just gonna because we have a few minutes here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna introduce like a couple of tricks here and there that I try to compile so that it can help you when you were looking at a word. How do I know? Like, okay, so we've done all these irregularities. We've done the whole of sarf. We've done regular sarf. We've done irregular sarf. We've done it all. So when I look at a word, where do I begin? Like, how do I know what kind of a word this is? So I'm just gonna, this is a simple summary here. It's not 100% proof. It's just a guide. It's just tips. Okay. I don't want you to take this like set in stone and you're like, okay, so this is it. If it applies here, that's it. No, these are just guides. Okay. It might work. It might not work. So that's a big disclaimer I need to put out there. So first of all, when you're looking at mahmuz, if you see hamza anywhere, that's going to be mahmuz. If you see hamza in the fa letter, mahmuz al-fa. You see hamza in the middle letter, mahmuz al-ain. See hamza at the end, mahmuz al-lam. Hamza is your telltale sign for mahmuz. It's even in the name, mahmuz. So hamza is your biggest like telltale if a word is mahmuz. Of course, except for aslama, where hamza is part of the container. So that gets a little bit confusing. And if you see any madda, like akhadu, you know something happened there. There was a hiccup that happened, and so it became a mad. So that should tell you, okay, so maybe this one is two hamzas coming together when you see that. Mithal, this is where you have a waw or a ya in the beginning. So if you see waw or a ya in the beginning, or in the fa letter, let's say it like that, then of course that's a dead giveaway that it's mithal. If you see, now this is very important. If you see two letters in the mudari' of small families, I'll give you an example here. So you have a word like wadara, and the mudari' is yadharu. Yadharu. If you take away the ya of mudari', how many letters are you left with? Two. But in a normal mudari', for example, فتح يفتح. يفتح. If you take away the ya, you have fataha. You have the three letters, the jibr. So you realize that this one has a letter missing. If you see in the mudari' of the small families, and even the big families sometimes, if you can count two letters after the ya, or three letters, or four letters, if you find that a letter is missing, so you've identified, for example, that this is Aslama family. Okay, so you've identified it's Aslama family, but it only has 3 letters after the ya of mudara. It means it's missing something. So when you see that, you know definitely this is mithal. Definitely the weak letter dropped because we don't like the ew, the ayu, the weird sounds. So we dropped it to make it, you know, sound better. The disgusting sounds were removed. So that's a dead giveaway of mithal. Okay. And of course, if you see the masdar is in ilatan pattern, remember mithal has 2 masdars. One is in the ilatan pattern, one is just in the normal pattern. Or sorry, in the whatever pattern that it may have. But ilatan is a common mithal pattern. And then of course, if you see ya in the masdar of family 4 and family, like for example, I'm trying to think of I'm trying to think of a mithal in aslama. Ijasan, for example, awjasa, yujisu, ijasan. So ijasan, it was going to be ew jasan, but then ew is not exactly liked, so you have that yeah. Again, in the same thing with family 10. Okay. Muda'af is the easiest. Muda'af, when you see a shadda on the last letter, it's the last letter and there's a shadda on it. Dead giveaway, that's a muda'af, except if it's nuna thaqila. We know nuna thaqila has a shadda, so you have to determine, is it family 9? Because family 9, you know, ahmarra, yuhmirru, of course that's still muda'af, ahmarra, yahmarru, still muda'af, but it's just families, for the family of colors. So if it's not family 9 and it's not nuna thaqila, then it's definitely muda'af. Okay, and of course if the ayn and lam letter is the same. Ajwaf, another dead giveaway if you see alif in the middle. Alif in the middle, aqama. Alif is in the middle. It's supposed to be aslama, aqwama. Then you have aqama, alif is in the middle. Or qala, alif is in the middle. So that's a dead giveaway, that's ajwaf. And the isim fa'il has a hamza in it. Fa'ilun, not fa'ilun, like we know isim fa'il. That's how we call it, isim fa'il. In this pattern, ajwaf, the ayn is replaced with a hamza. So you have isim, well, the word becomes fa'ilun, qa'ilun. Yeah? So instead of it was going to be qawilun, because the jidr is wow. قال يقول قولا فهو قاول. But then they were like, no, wilun, we don't want that. Replace that with hamza. So you have now qa'ilun. So that's what happened with ajwaf. Naqis, we just talked about this. If the ending is an alif, alif maqsura, alif mamduda, or a ya, or a waw, basically if it just looks anything like one of this, you look at the ending and it's either an alif or a ya or a waw, that's dead giveaway, that's naqis. And then it has fewer letters in the isim fa'il and ends with in. So like we talked about zakkin, muzakkin, sorry, muzakkin, which other one do I remember? Of course, this is in the big families. I can't remember. Hadin would be, yes. So you can actually see it's also missing something. Like hadin, it was supposed to be fa'ilun, hadiyun. It was supposed to be hadiyun, but then it's missing something. So it's shorter. Hadin, da'in, muzakkin, so on and so forth. Mulqin, alqa yulqi. It was supposed to be mulqiyun, but then no, mulqin. So it's shorter. You see that kasratain, you know you're dealing with naqis. Okay, so again, you see the masdar, it's gonna end with an, or it's gonna end with in. An or in, unless it's family 2, where it ends with a ta marbuta, like we just did. You have tasmiyatan, for example, or tahiyatan. We just did tahiyatan. So you see that ta marbuta there? It's important. The isim maf'ul ends in an, or if you see an anywhere, again, it sounds shorter, muzakkan, or in the small family, it's going to be maf'iyun, mad'uun, but in the big families, it's going to end like this, an. then you know this is definitely naqis. And it generally just naqis has fewer letters. Like in the word itself, naqis means shortage, means something is missing, means, you know, it's lacking something. So you'll find that the word you're dealing with is always lacking, missing a letter somewhere, yeah, in its conjugation. So that's all about naqis. And of course, lafif is where the first letter or the last letter is a weak letter, or the last two letters are weak letters. So that's basically that. I don't know if I think we have time. I think we can be able to go through this. I would have loved to finish and even maybe do some. I don't know what you guys, how your time is. Can we maybe extend maybe like 10, 15 minutes? Are you guys okay to extend? I would like to do maybe 1 or 2, 3, 4 examples from this table, and then I can give the rest to you as homework.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
great. Because I'd like to finish naqis today and lafif and all this stuff today. That would be good if we can do that. Okay, so let's look at this table. I think I should make it bigger because it's a bit small. Choose it. Okay, I think that works. Great. Okay, so when you're faced with a word, when you're looking at a word and you don't know what is this, where should I begin? How do you determine if this word is regular and what kind of irregular is it? Now, this table only works if you understand, if you know how to identify letters very well. Like if you know ya is, if you see an alif, you know that that's not really an alif, that's either a waw or a ya, okay? Or, you know, if you understand the rules for irregularity that we've covered, then this is gonna work for you. But if you don't understand those rules, it's gonna be very difficult for you to get this. Now, the other thing is, if you're looking at a word and it has attachments, maybe it has an attached pronoun, or it has, I don't know, something else attached to it. You want to get rid of all that attachments. You want just to look at the word itself. And then you take it to the Hua version, or you ask yourself, what is the Hua version of this word? Because I want to go back to the original word. So you go back to the Hua version if you can, and then you ask yourself, okay, so if it's not maybe a fi'l, and there's no Hua version, I'm looking at an ism, what kind of an ism is it? Is it ism fa'il? Is it ism maf'ul? Is it ism ala? And we talked about the different ways of identifying these different isms. Like if it has a mi beginning, it has a mu beginning, it has a ma beginning, or it's just a random word. You know, mostly masdars are going to be just random and weird like that. So you first like go through these 3 processes. That's very important. Now, this is not going to work for all words. I need to make that disclaimer. It's not going to work for all words. It's going to work for the most part. And I'm going to show you how. Okay. So number 1, the first step you need to ask yourself. So we know the jidr is made up of fa, ain, and lam. So fa letter, ain letter, and lam letter. Those are the 3 possibilities we're looking at. So you ask yourself, what is the fa letter? Okay. If the fa letter is a hamza or a waw or a ya, okay, the fa letter is that. Then you know that immediately if it's a hamza, it's mahmuz al-fa. Already done deal. I'm done with that. If it's a waw, it's mithal wawi, done. If it's a ya, it's mithal ya'i, done. So if you can be able to identify the fa letter and you narrow it down to any one of these 3, you're pretty much done. You know the irregularity, you know what to do. But if the fa letter is not any one of these 3, it's something else, it's other. Then you ask yourself, okay, so what is the ain letter? You come to this one. What is my ain letter? Then you have, if it's a hamza, mahmuz al-ain, done. You're good to go. If it's not a hamza, it's an alif. I told you an alif is a symptom, okay? It's either a waw or a ya. So you ask yourself, okay, so do I know if it's a waw? If it's a waw, it's ajwaf wawi. If it's a ya, it's ajwaf ya'i. You're done. Now, if it looks missing, like I just talked to you about mithal, and it looks like it's missing, like it's not there. What is the ain letter? I have no idea. It looks missing, like there's something missing. Then that's definitely ajwaf. It can either be ajwaf, it can be mahmuz. So those are the 2 possibilities. So you're narrowing things down, okay? Now, what if the ain letter is something different? If it's something different, then you have to ask yourself, okay, so what is my last letter? What is my last letter? Then you have options. You start with hamza, waw, or a ya. So if it is a hamza, of course, mahmuz al-lam, you're done. If it's a waw, ناقص واوي, you're done. If it's a ya, ناقص يائي, you're done. If both the lam and the ain letters are weak, you have لفيف مقرون. If both the last two letters are the same, لفيف مقرون, sorry, and you're done. But what if it's the same, the ain letter is the same, so you have two letters are the same. I meant to say here the lam letter and the ain letter are the same. So if the lam letter is the same as the ain letter, then of course you know that's muda'af. Then you have a shadda, doubling. You're done. What if it's the same as the fa letter? So if the lam letter is the same as the fa letter, you have lafif mafruq. Again, done. But what if it's not? What if you've gone through this whole process and lam is not any one of this? It's other? Then it's not irregular. You don't need to worry about that. You just treat it normal. Okay? I hope that's clear how we do all that. And I hope that can be able to assist. All right? So let's take a look at some examples here and we see. So we have the word ja'ani. Ja'ani. Now the first thing we need to ask ourselves, are there any attachments to this word? And if they are, we need to get rid of the attachments. So are there any attachments here? What do you guys think?
The ya at the end?
Yes. So ni
And
attaches to fi'als, and e attaches to, so kitabi, for example, a book, my book. You have the attachment for ana as ya. And then when it's a fi'l, it's ni, ja'ani. Okay, so we're going to get rid of this ni at the end, and we have ja'a. Then we ask ourselves, is the fa letter hamza, waw, or a ya? Nope. Okay, so that can be it.
no.
Yeah. So we go to the next.
Is this an ajwaf? Because it has a alif in the middle.
Yes.
And a mahmuz because it has a hamza at the
end.
lam.
Exactly. So you see, like this one is a bit of a complication. So did I not? I meant to put here, so we can do the jither here. So this is jim. Yeah.
Can you repeat the process, please?
Okay, so the process is, first of all, you ask yourself, what is the
Yeah.
fa letter? So the
Okay.
first letter is not hamza, is not ya, is not waw. So it's not any of the irregularities that we know. Okay, so let's come here. Let's use this table. So we know it's a jim. It's not hamza, it's not waw, it's not ya. So we come to other. So we have to ask ourselves, okay, now what is the ain letter? So the ain letter is an alif, isn't it? So we have to ask ourselves, okay, is it a waw or a ya? If it's waw, it's going to be ajwaf wawi. If it's ya, it's going to be ajwaf ya'i. Now, because I think it's ya and not waw, so this is going to be ajwaf ya'i, and it's also mahmuz al-ain, because it ends with a mahmuz. Because remember the third process here, you ask yourself, what is the lam letter? If it's a hamza, then it's going to be mahmuz al-lam. But of course, mahmuz al-lam, let me tell you, mahmuz al-lam is not even an irregularity. Because really nothing happens in mahmuz al-lam. Like, I think maybe one or two things happen, if at all it happens, but it's pretty much normal. So it's not even really an irregularity. So you'll find that even mahmuz al-lam is not so much considered. So in this case, we'll actually say that this is ajwaf ya'i, because we have an alif in the middle. Yeah. Okay. Because this is the huwa version. We already figured the huwa version. Now, we come to another word here. Qadiyan. Okay, so we have to ask ourselves, okay, so what is this, first of all? Is it an ism or a fi'l? Because the way you deal with an ism is different, and the way you deal with a fi'l is different. What do you guys think? Yeah, it's an ism because it has tanween on it. Dead giveaway that this is an ism. So we're not really going to, basically we are going to think of it, we're going to think about the isms now. Because here, ja'a, we are thinking about madi, mudari', yeah? But here, because it's an ism, now we switch to isms. What isms do I know? I know ism fa'il, I know ism maf'ul, I know ism masdar, I know ism, tafdeel, all the list of isms. That's where I tune my head. I'm going to start thinking isms. Okay, the fa letter is a qaf. Okay, fa letter is a qaf, so it's not irregular. It's not wow, it's not hamza, it's not ya. So I go next. Now, I know I said if it's an alif, then it's probably ajwaf. But remember, this is an ism and it's treated differently. So I have to ask myself, what ism sort of like matches with this? What kind of an ism matches with this? Okay, so I'm gonna skip this alif because this is gonna confuse, or I might just say, okay, fine, maybe it is ajwaf. Let's assume maybe it is ajwaf. I don't know, because maybe I don't know anything. I say, okay, fine, maybe it's ajwaf. Then we go to the next. Then I have a dad. But this is not a root letter now, is it? It's not the ain letter. You can see we have this letter, and then we have this letter. So you have to figure out which one is the fa letter, which one is the ain letter, which one is the lam letter. Because if you say that this alif is the ain letter, then what are you going to do with dad? What are you going to do with ya? So you see that confusion. So you need to know what is my fa letter, what is my ain letter, what is my lam letter. Okay, so maybe you can say, okay, fine, maybe this one is part of the container. I'm going to skip it. So I'm going to go to this one. I'm going to say, this one is my fa letter, this one is my ain letter, and this one is my lam letter. Okay, so dad, is it any one of the irregular letters, one of the weak letters? It's not a hamza, it's not a waw, it's not a ya. I go to the last letter. I ask myself, okay, now, is it a waw, is it a ya, or is it a hamza? What do you guys think?
Yeah, so naqis.
Yes, yeah, so this is definitely naqis. Okay, this one was ajwaf. Okay, so now that I know it's naqis, and it's naqis ya'i because there's a ya there, so I already know my irregularity. Now I'm gonna ask myself, okay, now what is the sigha for this one? What does it match with? What do you guys think of the isms?
Ism fa'il
Exactly.
mansub nasab.
Yes, the ism fa'il, the mansub version of it, like hadiyan. See, qadiyan, hadiyan, da'iyan. So it was qadin, qadiyan, qadin. That was what happened there. So you've already figured that out. Okay, now you come to a word like this, ahda. Now, this one is a bit tricky one, and I'll tell you why. This one is tricky one because there are two possibilities. Okay, so it could be a fi'l or it could be an ism, right? It could be a fi'l, maybe from the aslama family, or it could be an ism like akbar, akbaru. Yeah, remember that? This is a tricky one, and only the context will tell you, is it,
Yes, ism tafdil.
yes, is it ism tafdil or is it aslama family? Is it a fi'l madi? So this one, only the context will tell you how it is used in that context. But let's say maybe we can pick one. We can say it. Let's go with ism tafdil. Let's make it complicated for ourselves. So we say maybe it's ism tafdil. Okay, so I look at it. I ask myself, okay, so there's hamza here, but is it the fa letter? It's not the fa letter. Okay, so this hamza is part of the container. Then I look at the ha, I know this is my fa letter. It's not a hamza, it's not a waw, it's not a ya. So it's not mahmuz, al-fa, it's not mithal. Yeah, and it's not mithal, and which other one? Which other one is there? Yeah, mithal wawi and mithal ya. So automatically rule that out. I go to the ain letter. The ain letter is also not any one of those. So I'm gonna rule out ajwaf. I'm gonna rule out what else am I gonna rule out? Yeah, ajwaf and mahmuz al-ain. So I'm gonna rule out those two. Then we come to the end, and the end looks like an alif, and we know an alif is a symptom of waw or a ya. Okay, so this tells me this is naqis.
Naqis.
Yeah. So now I have to ask myself, if I agree that this is naqis, then which family is it? So this, like I said, it can either be family 4, or family 1, depending on the meaning. Is it aslama, like ahda, or is it like ahda, like akbaru? Ism tafdil. So that's a bit confusing there. You have to know what is being said in the sentence. Yeah. I want to pick maybe something interesting. Let's look at this nilna. Let's look at this nilna. Because you're probably wondering, where do I begin with something like this? Okay. So you look at the fa letter. So you have to identify the fa letter. So we have fa letter, ain letter, and this noon it's not really the what is it called? The lam letter. Why? Because it looks like it's the hunna version of something. Yeah, when you have the hunna version, you have that noon. Like hunna يسمعنا, hunna يفتحنا, hunna يضربنا, hunna يأكلنا, right? You have that noon at the end. So that noon looks like that. So basically, it feels like something's going on here that I don't understand. So we start the process and we say, okay, noon, it's not any one of the weak letters. So this is definitely not mahmuz, al-fa, it's not mithal. We skip. Then we come to the lam letter. So basically, if I remove this noon, I have something like nil. Yeah, I have something like this, nil. This is the Hua version, nil. And it feels like there's something missing, doesn't it? It looks like it's missing something. So when I ask myself, what is the Ain letter? I have no idea. It looks like it's missing. So you come here and you see it's actually Ajwaf. It's either Ajwaf or Mahmuz. So I come back here and ask myself, could it be Ajwaf? Could it be Mahmuz? Most likely this is Ajwaf. Nala Yanilu. So Nilna is the Hunna version. I mean, I know it's a bit of a process and it might not work 100%, but it will get you there. I mean, especially if the word is straightforward, it will get you there. All right. I don't know if there are any questions because I see we are time. Do you guys want to try out a few? Just try and figure out like what word could this be?
Yes.
Okay. So let's try maybe like 2 or 3. We can do this 3. Okay. So akaltumuhu. First of all, we have to get rid of all the attachments.
The uhu.
Yeah.
The wow
So
and
this,
the
so yeah, the wow, akal. So, okay. Of course, that one is for attached. So we have akaltum. What version is that of a word? Akaltum.
it's past antum.
Antum. But now we want to take it, if we know the Hua version, we take it to the Hua version. So what would be the Hua
Akala.
version? Akala. So we have akala to work with, okay? Akala. Then we ask ourselves, okay, what is the fa letter?
Hamza.
Hamza. You got your Mahmuz al-Fa there right now. So you see?
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of like, of course, you can also check the other letters to make sure that there's no any other irregularity. But of course, kaf is not a waw or a ya, lam is not a waw or a ya or a hamza. So pretty much the only irregularity here is mahmuz al-fa. Now let's come to ra'ayna kunna. Let's remove all the attachments.
Kunna is the attachment.
Yes, kunna and like antunna kunna. So get rid of that. What else do we see? Ra'ayna. What version is ra'ayna?
Nahnu version.
Nahnu version. So let's take it to the Hua version. The Hua version is going to be?
Ra'a.
Yes. Ra'a. Then we ask ourselves, the fa letter, do we see any irregularity in the fa letter?
No.
No. We go.
But you can see the Hamza on the Ain, and then the Ya as
Yes.
the Naqid on the Lam.
Exactly. Beautiful. So we know this is Mahmuz al-Ain and Naqis. Naqis wawi at the end. So you see like how you think, you already know how I'm going to treat this. Okay. So that's kind of how you do it. We can do this, maybe 2 more. I don't know. Wajadtiha?
Okay. Wajati. So the attached pronoun is her. Wajati, it is auntie. Madi. So the who is wajada.
Wajada.
Wajada. It is not Mahmoud or Hamza. So we go to after Mahmoud, it is Misala. So we go. The first letter is wow. So it's Misal.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's Mithal
And
Wow. And you're
Misal
done.
wow.
Yeah. And now you tune your brain to Mithal. How do I handle Mithal? Mithal does not like disgusting sounds. So I'm going to make sure I avoid disgusting sounds. So that's
Wajada
how you do.
yajidu.
Yes. Wajada yajidu. Not yawjidu, yajidu. Smooth it out. I want to pick like maybe 2 difficult ones. Because especially with isms are the ones that are a bit challenging. With fi'ls, because you can take it to the huwa version and it's done. With isms, you have to take it to the huwa version and start matching. Like, which ism fa'il do I know that sounds like this? Or which ism maf'ul do I know that sounds like this? Which is a bit of a process. So I don't know which one to do. Let's try this one. Let's try Sadadtunna here. Because I feel like we haven't done anything like this. What do you guys think? What is there any attachment?
Yeah, the tunna is giving it away.
Yeah, so is it an attachment or is it like a version of it? What do you think?
I think it's I think it's a attachment. So
So remember, okay, so if it's an attachment and it's antunna, do we say tunna or do we say kunna?
we say kunna, not tunna. Yeah, so it's not so it's not an attachment.
Yeah, so this is a version. This is the antunna version. Yeah. So now we have to take it to the huwa version.
Sadada.
But what is sadada? Do we like sadada?
No.
Yeah.
Sadda.
So yes. Yeah, it was initially sadada, but of course this is gonna merge. And once you see that 2 letters are the same, sadada, you know automatically this is mudaf. Exactly. Yeah. Which one do I do? I want to do an ism because you see how fi'ls are easy to do because once you take it to the huwa version, you already know. I want to do an ism. Let's do this one. Farratun. Let's try and do this one.
Farratun. It is an ism.
Definitely, yeah. Tanween.
Tanween.
Yes. So do I know the huwa version?
Farra. No, it is an ism, huh?
Yes, it's an ism.
Okay.
Only isms they get a ta marbuta, remember?
Yes.
Because it's like the muslimatun chat.
Question.
Yes.
Can you repeat your question?
So so we have to ask ourselves, okay, which version is this? Is it like what kind of a version of the ism is this? What do you think?
Oh, it is ism fa'il maf'ul or
yeah, you can do that. That's also a shortcut of doing it. Yes. Personally, I prefer to take it to the huwa version. So if you can be able to take it to the huwa version, yes. So you have to ask yourselves.
know.
So when you're dealing with isms.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It means I'm not explaining well, so I need to explain it. If you're dealing with isms, most likely it's going to fall into the muslimatun chat, right? Because we know if it's dual, it's going to be muslimatani. If it's plural, it's going to be muslimuna, muslimatun. It's going to be one of those, right? If it's an ism. So I have to ask myself, okay, so this ism, what version of the Muslimun Muslimatun chart is it? And can I take it to the poor version? Yeah? So what do you think this one is?
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is Muslimatun.
Yes.
The poor version is Farun.
Yes, that's it. Farun. Yes. And of course, you now start matching. Yes.
Question here. This could be Muslimatun, so it could be a muannas, or it could be a masdar from the families that have the ta marbuta.
Yes.
If it matches the pattern of those masters. So you have to ask.
Where would we go first? Would we jump to the Muslimatun?
Master is the last thing you do. The last thing. Because masters, especially with family one, it can be like a whole list. It doesn't have a formula with family one. Remember, like master could be anything. Yeah.
Yes. And this is family one because it doesn't have a mu.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So when you're looking at isms, my advice would be start with isim fa'il, go to isim maf'ul, because these are the common ones. Isim fa'il, isim maf'ul. If it's not an isim fa'il and it's not an isim maf'ul, then maybe it's a dharf. If it's not a dharf, then now you start looking at the other ones. But these three are the most common ones. And if you miss out on a dharf, go to isim sifa, because that's also common, isim sifa. Then if you miss out on isim sifa, then now you can ask yourself, okay, is it mubalagha, is it ala, is it tafdil? If it's none of this, then it's definitely a masdar. Masdar would be the last choice because masdar could be anything. Okay. Like just today, I was teaching a class and tughyan. We came across this word, tughyan. And we were asking ourselves, okay, so what kind of a word is tughyan? It sounds like mubalagha, like Rahman, but Rahman, it has a fatha. It's Rahman, not Ruhman. So we went through the whole list and we were like, okay, fine. You know what? It doesn't match anything, any isim that we know. So this is definitely a masdar. That's how we concluded. And it was actually a masdar. So that's my approach. Yeah, that'll be the best way.
Okay.
All right. So now if you're to think and ask yourself, what does this sound like?
So we have for an ism, we don't have to ask the fa letter, the ghain letter, but we have to.
You can, but it will just confuse you a lot more. The reason why is because the containers are very different. Very, very different. Yeah.
So it is look like mudara.
Yes. Yeah. So this is definitely mudaf. If you see the shadda there, you know that this is mudaf. Because okay, let's say if we are to ask ourselves if what is the fa letter, because the fa letter is not irregular, then we come into the middle, we see it's an alif. We can easily conclude it's ajwaf, but this is not ajwaf. Do you see the problem?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also isim fa'il from small families has a different, like almost pattern in every other irregularity. So like in muda'af is fa'lun, and in naqis, for example, is what is the isim fa'il? Is hadin, is fa'in. So it's different everywhere.
Yes.
So yeah, so you just have to match it directly. It's easier.
So this
So
is
it looks like
yes. So this is the isim fa'il from it's a muda'af. So it's farara. So farra yafirru firaran فهو فار. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Isim fa'ils. Sorry. Isims you have to be a bit careful. You see qi, we talked about qi yesterday. So now you know what qi is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amr.
Amr.
Yes. Amr. Exactly. Amr.
It is.
So
yes.
You're gonna ask something?
No, I say it is very good.
Exactly. So when you're reading the Quran and you see qina adab al-nar, you know exactly what that is, where it's coming from. Yeah. So these words, by the way, all of these words, I got them from the Quran. Maybe I changed a bit, I think. Let's look at this.
Can
This
we
one is
do
going to be interesting.
mawalataini?
Okay. Okay, yes, we can do that. Mawlayatayn. 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 Okay. So do you see any attachments?
Aini.
So what is aini? Aini, is it an attachment or is it like a version?
Version.
Yes, version.
It's for
So
the
we
dual.
ask, yes. Is it dual? Is it plural?
Plural.
Plural. So we get rid of that. And if we're to take it to the, well, in this case, because it has a ta, this is going to be the female version. So, mawlayya tun.
Ta.
So we have that. That's our like muslimatun chart happened there. So if you take it to the huwa version, it's going to be
Mawlayun.
mawlayyun.
Mawlayun.
Okay. Mawlayyun.
We can also see that it's Mau and not Mu. So it's not Ism file and Ism Maful of the Mazid Fihi.
Yes, exactly. See, this is the process I've been taking you guys through, and I love it that you see it's ma. So that means it cannot be, one of those. So now what is ma?
Yes.
So what can it be?
It can be
Zarf.
ismu fa'il, ismu maf'ul, or zarf.
Or what is it? Actually, I think this is is it mawla or mawlay? Mawliya.
It's a
I don't know
maf'ul.
if this is a fatha or a kasra. I think this is supposed to be a kasra here.
Mawlud.
Oh, I'm also confused a little bit here. Oh, this is a tough one, isn't it? Mawliya. I think it's Mawliya. Ah, okay. Okay. Yes. Now so yes, this is, whoa. Okay, there's a lot happening here. Cause there's an attachment here. There's a ya of ana, mawlayya. It's not actually mawlayyun, it's mawlayya. Mawlayya. So it's so there's a ya that is attached here. So we have to get rid of one ya. So it's gonna be mawlay, mawla, but then because it's ending with a ya, it's gonna be an alif maqsura. So now we end up with mawla as the huwa version.
Can you write one by one step? It's a little complicated.
Yeah, this one is complicated, to be honest. I'm actually trying to figure out because mawlayya.
Can it be a zarf because it's Mau?
So the zarf
It's not a time and place. It's for friendship, I think.
Yeah. Because if it was a zarf, it would be maf'an. It would be the pattern maf'an, which is kind of close like this one. Oh, this one is a tough one. God, where did I get this? I don't know where I got this from. But I think that this one is mawla plus ana. So mawla plus
mutakallim.
ya mutakallim. So mawlaya. So mawlayatun. Would that how mawlata? Oh, it would be mawlati, not mawlayat. Where did I get this word? Must have. I need to check this one, honestly. I don't know if it even exists. Because if it was my female friend, for example, it would be mawlati, not mawlayatun. It's a tough one, this one. Interesting. So yeah, I'll confirm on this one. Either I made a mistake or it actually exists and I need to figure out what it is.
Okay,
and
so
then I'll
if
get back.
it exists, the wow, if the word exists, so the wow is an fa letter.
Yes. Yes, most likely. Because I'm looking at it, if it exists, then mawliyun would be the huwa version, and then it would be like the maf'ul, mahdiyun,
Yes.
or mad'uun, one of those. But because this one is ijun, so maybe it would be an isim maf'ul, mahdiyun, mawliyun. But I need to confirm.
Okay.
So in that case, if it exists, then this would be a kasra, mawliyataini, like mahdiyataini. Oh, tough one. Yeah, these are the words that make you sweat and you think, what? I don't know anything, but at least most of them you can see they're quite easy. Once you take it to the Hua version, get rid of all the attachments, take it to the Hua version, ask yourself, any irregularities? If not, if it's an isim, what can you match it with? And you know exactly what it is.
Can
All
we
right.
do Yahya?
Yahya. Okay. We can do Yahya. So we can do Yahya. You have to ask yourself, fi'l or ism? What do you guys think? That's the first question.
I think it's a name, right?
Yahya. It's like a
Yeah, it's a
Can be
name.
both.
Yes, yes, but I think in this case we'll go with the fi'l because that's the pattern of it.
Yeah.
Because it has never been used as a name ever until the Quran revealed it. Like it was never a name. So let's assume it's a fi'l.
Yes.
Okay, so if it's a fi'l, we have to ask ourselves, okay, what is the huwa version of this word?
Since it begins with a ya, so it's family one, and it's Yahya, so it's either Fataha or Samia.
Good process. Very nice process. Yes.
So
So
if you remove the ya, then you're left with ha, ya, ya. We just did this.
We
Ha,
just
ya,
did
ya.
it. We just did it. Yep. So
It could
hayya
be a
or
mudaf.
hayya. Yes.
Yeah.
So you can either treat it as muda'af, where you say hayya, or you treat it as naqis, hayya yahya. Hayya yahya. That's the process, guys. That's the process. So you have to really break it down. Ask yourself, fi'l or ism? Once you figure out if it's a fi'l, you take it to the huwa version. If it's a mudari', for example, take it to the huwa madi. If it's antum version, take it to the huwa version. Just take it back to the huwa version. The madi, huwa version. Then now you ask yourself, okay, what is the fa letter? What is the ain letter? What is the lam letter? Do I see any irregularities in any one of those letters? And then just figure it out. Becomes easy.
Can we do itwu? Can we do itwu?
Yes, let's do itwu. This is a juicy one. Itwu. Okay, do you see any attachments?
No.
No. What version do you think the word is?
Hum?
Yes, it looks like a hum or antum. Basically, it's plural masculine, whichever
Yes,
version.
plural.
Yeah,
Yes.
it could be antum, it could be hum. Yeah, it could be one of those. So now we have to figure out, how do I take it to the...
And it is small family.
Yes, definitely small families. Yeah. So either we are looking at Fataha, Sami'a, Nasara, one of those. Okay. So we have to figure out the Hua version. Okay. Now this is the tricky bit. That's the tricky bit, especially with words like this, like you can't figure it out. And like I said, my table might not work 100%. So that table might not work 100%, especially for words like this. Because you to know the Hua version for you to be able to use that table. If you don't know the Hua version, you're pretty much stuck. So if you know the Hua version of this one, straight, you can be able to figure out. So how do we get the Hua version here?
Get rid of the wow and the halif.
So we get rid of this, because this looks like it's an addition. Okay. So, and what kind of alif would you say this is? If it's a small families.
Amr.
Yes. So you see, this is like antum version. of the amr. So now if we're to make a mudara out of this, what do we do to make a mudara?
Yeah. Oh, we
Ada ya.
yeah, yes.
So,
Sukun.
and of course this one yet something. Okay, yet
Yet
so we know that, yes. Yatwi, actually. This is going to be yatwi. Tawa yatwi.
Yatwi.
So it looks like it's missing something. So when you see a word that is missing something in the mudara, like you have two letters, most likely it's either ajwaf or it's naqis. Most likely. Yeah. So like you see, but this one you already have two letters. So it means that the last letter is actually naqis. And this one is tawa yatwi or yatwu. Huh, you could be right. Tawa yat. I need to
Yatwi.
confirm.
Yatwi, it is good.
Yatwi? Yeah, could be yatwi. Yeah, so that's also one of those tough ones. But again, if you're not sure and you don't want to guess, just you can go to you can use the dictionaries, it's fine. Yeah. So the mudari' is yatwi, yes. Tawa yatwi. Yeah. Or you can just put this word in other tools and it will give you the jither. And once it gives you the jither, then you already know the irregularity and whatnot. All right, I think we're way over time, guys. I hope that was helpful.
Just you must Bakiani.
Bakiani.
Yeah,
Okay.
Musanawa.
Yes, we can do this. Okay, so what version do you think Bakiani is?
Where is
Dual.
Dual.
Okay.
Dual, exactly. So if we get rid of that, what would be the Huwa version, the Muslimun version of it?
Bakia.
Bakin. It's going to be Bakin. Because remember, with certain words, the Yani comes back. So it's going to be Ba. No, I'm writing that wrong. Bakin. So if it's Bakin.
Like a file.
Yes.
It's in file of naqis.
Wonderful.
Yes.
And you're done. Yes. So this is from the fi'il baka, to cry. So bakiyani, two crying people. Like two crying ones. Yeah. Which is different from baqin. Remember there's also a word baqin.
Yes.
This is from a different naqis family. This is baqiya.
Baqiya. Okay.
Baqiya. This is baka, this is baqiya. But they're both naqis. I hope that's clear.
So, if it is a name Yahya, there should be alif maksura at the end, right?
Yes.
So that's how we can recognize. It's a name or fi'l.
Even fi'l, because naqis, it's when it's a sami'a family, like shaqiya, the mudari' is going to be yashqa. Shaqiya yashqa. So it ends in alif maqsura. So the trick that we talked about in naqis is that if the huwa version, the madi version, ends with alif or any kind of alif, then the hum version is going to be aw. Or the mudari'. Basically, you just have to memorize, like, I recommend you memorize da'a yad'u, hada yahdi, shaqiya yashqa. Those at least will give you madi and mudari'. So like this one is hayya yahya, like shaqiya yashqa, or radiya yarda. It's going to end with alif maqsura like that. Yeah, but maybe I will also look for this one also, just to find out, like, is it mostly used? I know it's mostly used as a name these days and not as a verb. Yeah. All right. Any other pending questions before we end? Yeah, maybe next week what we'll do, because I think on Saturday what is left is just rubai. Rubai is a very, very short thing. So just one or two things left. And what I'll do, I'll try and we can go through the workbook and just look at the naqas examples. Just try and figure out the naqas examples. I think that would be good practice to
Yes,
end this
please.
whole
That'd
thing.
be fun.
Yeah, inshallah.
Alhamdulillah.
Inshallah. Jazakallah khair. It was fun.
Waiyakum,
It
jazakallah.
helped a lot, mashallah.
Alhamdulillah. As long as you guys are getting it, alhamdulillah. It's good. All right. I will see you next week, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Inshallah. Jazakallah khair.
Jazakallah
Yeah.
khair.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum.